Counter Punch Boxing News, and I am live for the chat for the debate of today. And I want you guys to hear something, okay? And I want your take on it. That's of course what this live stream is about today. Dean Boucher, absolutely not. Okay. Stay ready. How he's beat everyone. What a silly question. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, this question is stemmed from the whole video today. Cool. Let's see here. Alan Daniel Avuru in the building. Okay. Now, this is what I want you guys to pay attention to. Go.
These are physical monumental challenges for Usyk because he is so much smaller naturally. Technically, he's got the game, but these heavyweights are big, dangerous guys. And you know, was Usyk 6'3" and a 14 stone 4 fighter? That's what he is.
Is he?
He's a cruiserweight.
Oh yeah, naturally. But he's bigger now, isn't he?
Artificially bigger to make the big money fights. So you know, like Dubois in the first fight gave him trouble.
Yeah,
because he just applied his size on him. Look at the two AJ fights. The first fight, I thought Usyk won it at canter. Mm-hmm. The second fight, all AJ did differently was to just try to apply himself a bit more physically and attack the body a bit more. And you saw the out of Usyk energetically to the same result. And I see a similar thing happening with Dubois, that if he just goes out there and just if he forgets who he's fighting, has no respect for the man, applies his size and just lets his hands go, and every time Usyk gets clever with him, just keeps going forward and throwing his hands, his size and his natural size advantage and power is going to ask.
See, I think Daniel's capable of doing that.
So, there you go. He's artificially bigger, meaning he's not naturally bigger. He had to gain weight. And I do remember that we talked on a bit about this yesterday. Bill Keaveney, Fury was 6 inches and 50 pounds heavier, and we know how that went. That's true. Whitey McCrackerson, Dubois posed no trouble. What the F? Well, I think people want him to pose trouble because a lot of people want to believe that the punch was legal. A lot of people thought it was legal. You know, I have people that when they were watching it live, they thought it was legal. I mean, I didn't think anything of the sort. I thought and I knew where the belt line was, and I know if you're punching anywhere near the belt line, the referee has the discretion to rule it any way he likes to. And I think that's what people need to understand. You know, Dubois was Usyk's easiest win. You know, if you look at fights, then given the whole point that Dubois quit, because he didn't really, Dubois, like if you really think about the punishment in that fight, Dubois didn't really take a lot of punishment. He got caught with like a good left in, I think, the 5th round when Usyk finally got up, because he did take his time. And I want to talk about that for a second. If Usyk took his time getting up, Usyk is the guy that prepares for fights. I mean, wouldn't you agree that that's what Usyk does? Usyk is so in shape because Usyk is a guy that he prepares. So, of course, he's going to take his time. Richard Allen, hello, counterpunch to you, G. Counterpunch to you, brother. What's the point of the referee's word is final if people still argue about it 2 years later? Bill, I don't know. I really don't know. I think maybe desperation. maybe, something to argue about. I think people like to argue. I think people in boxing like to debate because we have things that, because they're not nationalized, people think that then, people are non-official, or they don't believe in official rulings of boxing, which is crazy. But no, good point, Bill. I mean, very good point. Ask Skip. It's mostly idiot Brits that think it was a legal shot. By the rules, it was low. That's the end of it. That's how it should be. And I think, if anything, it should lie with the referee. If they did their due diligence and said things that actually made sense, I would pretty much respect it more. If we look at the whole Deontay Wilder thing, if Deontay, if the LDBC and everybody that believed that Tyson Fury cheated him like Antonio Margarito cheated Miguel Cotto, I think people would know that, hey, there is some legitimacy with this. And thinking about that just for a second, you had Wilder stating that everybody was wrong: his trainer, the referee, the costume, everything was wrong. Everybody was wrong. And I think what they should have been looking at is rabbit punches, fouls like that, things like that actually made sense. Usyk's too small for Bakhodir. He will retire before fighting Bakhodir. Based on the Usyk that we've seen of late, I think Usyk just outworks him. I don't even really look at Usyk and Bakhodir. I mean, it would be a good fight, but Bakhodir would have to pin Usyk down to land shots. Because I mean, we've learned that in that shot. Like, the uppercuts would be dangerous, especially the right uppercut. But I think he would have to pin Usyk down, which I don't think that he could do. You know what I mean? Like, he would have to get Usyk on the ropes and apply pressure constantly to Usyk to even affect Usyk in that regard. Not saying he couldn't land anything. I'm just saying, with the movement that Usyk has, that in and out, that herky jerky, those feints, I think it would give Mark Bakhodir a headache, the blues. Because I mean, we've seen Michael Hunter do that. You think Usyk can't do that? But the question would be, could the Usyk that fights Bakhodir in the future do that? We've seen Michael Hunter do it. Michael Hunter went in and out, jabbed, went to the body upstairs, went to the body upstairs, moved. He constantly circled Bakhodir. Bakhodir really couldn't get anything done. All he could do was pretty much work his jab when he could work his jab, when Michael Hunter wasn't skipping and dipping and bobbing and weaving, okay, and turning. That's what Michael was doing. He turned Bakhodir. And this wasn't even a Bakhodir that was 299 pounds, 315 pounds, 284 pounds even. This was a Martin Bakhodir that was 256 pounds when he fought Michael Hunter. So the Bakhodir that fought Michael Hunter was 256 pounds. That's 30 pounds lighter than he was when he fought Jared Anderson. But understand, that was only a 5-round fight. So imagine that going 10 rounds, 12 rounds, Bakhodir is a hype job. Usyk would batter that fatty. I don't know about batter. I think he would just outwork him. But, again, you always have to keep in mind the Usyk that we seen last was the Usyk in December. The Usyk in December was still able to move. He was still able. He did a good job. He was still, he was still the Usyk that I remember. Him being. He's not fat, just greedy. Bakhodir not in shape. No, he's not in shape. No, he's not. Fans question referees because the boxing industry tainted everything regarding professional boxing. Boxing fans have a natural inclination to question the sport's integrity at every corner. Aaron Edson, yeah, I mean, it's just dirty in people, and it's known to be dirty. It's proven to be dirty. The shit that goes on, the decisions that are made, the rulings, a lot of things, you have to question. And I think they're more, I think you should, the judges. I don't think, instead of the referees, a lot of them have been kind of weird, and you've seen obvious bias, but, it is what it is. The Michelin Man is too small for Bakhodir. Yam, sweet potatoes, plantain. Hakeem Rashid. Usyk is a generational great. I believe he beats Dubois again and retires undefeated. We'll see if he can. I think he would still be a generational great if he got beat. Because he's already done this, I mean, it's either, if Daniel beats him, you only look at that two ways. One, Daniel has got better, which is debatable still. Or two, Usyk has slowed down. Or three, all the above. Not in optimal shape, but he is still dangerous. Ajagba lucky not to get KO'd. I mean, Efe Ajagba took some good shots from Martin Bakhodir. I want people to understand that. It wasn't just, oh man, he's lucky not to get knocked out. I mean, that's kind of shitty to say because it's like taking the credit away from his durability. You know what I mean? His durability is the reason he didn't get knocked out. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that he, applied his own offensive pressure. I think he should fight the idiot son of dumb Charles. Gout King, counterpunch to you. Now, that was funny. Do you think Dubois has more than a puncher's chance? I mean, he has youth, confidence. I'm doing a video today on memberships and Patreon to explain why I feel, or how that was explained to me, why Danny Dubois is where he's at right now. That was a good fight regardless. Usyk will take a bag for Fury, Joshua winner. He has the blueprint to beat them all. We're asking to see Usyk have an off night. That just does not happen. Usyk is amazing, period. Some of the best footwork and defense ever in heavyweight history. He has good, like, Usyk is the exact replica of someone like Lomachenko fighting at heavyweight. So if, you guys remember Vasily Lomachenko, people don't even talk about him no more. That's how crazy, that's how boxing is, bro. The people that were the best, the creme de la creme, the pound for pound. Remember Vasily Lomachenko used to be considered one of the #1 pound for pound? When was the last time you've heard that? It's been a few years, right? It's been a few years. But he's not. So, he's not talked about as that now. Kurt, I am African, and we're happy with the draw, so they both move up. I mean, I guess. Dude is got the best footwork in the business. What fighter in the past would have beat Usyk? I mean, it depends. I mean, you know, uh, Holyfield. What about James Toney at heavyweight? That would be a James Toney versus Usyk at heavyweight. That would be a very, very interesting fight because James Toney had he had the Philly shell. Riddick Bowe was a big guy. Lennox Lewis, I think, would have outdo Usyk. Lennox Lewis, of course. I mean, Lennox was just a big dude. I just don't know if he would have took a right hand from Lennox. I mean, the type of right hands that Lennox Lewis threw, they weren't the type of unsure punches that AJ threw to Usyk. AJ threw punches. AJ threw shots, but he didn't throw shots. You know what I mean? Because I don't think AJ threw punches with authority because I think he didn't really know because he threw a lot of punches. And those punches, you seen him missing badly, especially the first fight. Because Usyk had him, he had him going, bro. He had Joshua moving. Quad Life, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Blessings. Absolutely. I'll take it. Kurt, you really think Moses beats Bakhodir? It's going to be another Jared story. It could be. It could be. I mean, I'm not saying... See, here's my thing. I know people have an off night, but I do know this. Maybe it may appear that I'm too hard on Martin Bakhodir. Again, it may appear that I'm too hard on him. I don't think that I am at all. I don't think that I'm hard on Bakhodir. I think Bakhodir is receiving even, fair criticism. I think he's been counterpunched the way he's supposed to. I think there's a reason why Frank Warren would make a Bakhodir fight and Moses Atoma fight in a heartbeat because he wants to see what someone like Moses Atoma, fresh, young, hungry, in shape, could do with someone like Martin Bakhodir. Now, could it go bad? Yes, it could go very bad. Bro, don't make no mistake about it. A Moses Atoma versus Martin Bakhodir fight, it could go horrible. I mean, absolutely horrible. That shit could be Moses gets in there, unsure, pawned with the jab, trying to throw counters and gets countered and gets hurt and gets dropped again and then gets mauled and then gets beat and stopped. It could go very badly. I understand that. Now, the question I have for really Frank, though, if he wants to make a fight with Moses Atoma versus Martin Bakhodir so badly, you got to ask yourself this question. What's in it for Moses Atoma? Well, I mean, what's in that for Moses? What does he have? What does Martin? What are you going to do that for? What's Martin got that Moses wants? He's not number one no more. That's Derek Chisora. You see what I mean? He's a top opponent in certain, in certain sanctioning bodies, but he's no one that you want to put him in there with. You know what I mean? The whoop Martin Bakhodir. And yes, I do know Turki Al-Sheikh loves Martin Bakhodir. This is the third fight he's had him in. And I think he likes Martin Bakhodir. And I think, Martin Bakhodir will be in other fights with Turki Al-Sheikh. I do believe that. But at the end of the day, though, you ask yourself, why would they throw Moses Atoma in there with Martin Bakhodir when Martin Bakhodir has nothing to offer Moses? It doesn't get him a title shot at anything, at anyone. Fighting guys like Aget Kabayel does, Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora. Fighting those guys gets you a title shot. Then he becomes interim. Then he gets the title shot. not Martin Bakhodir. Martin Bakhodir pissed away his opportunity by taking the chance of fighting Joseph Parker, which he got knocked out in the second round, which Billy Nelson prematurely stopped that fight. You know, and his argument was I wanted him to be ready for the second fight. Well, I guess so, dude. I guess he wanted to make that money. He said, well, the job's done. Let's stop the fight so I can make that other commission check. With Loma, the smaller fighters' age matters more than heavyweights. Also, fighters of the past, people forget Ali lost to some mid-level boxers. Usyk could hold his own. In my era, anyone can lose. Justin Mullins, I believe that. AJ didn't commit to the KO. No, he didn't. He was unsure because he didn't know if they were going to land. He didn't have faith that the bigger shots would land, and he didn't want to be thrown at air. So it's not, I think people think, well, Usyk, he has a good chin. He does have a good chin, but at the same time, AJ didn't throw those. If you remember how AJ used to throw right hands, AJ used to turn with that shot, turn inward with that shot, and really get her done. He didn't do that with the Usyk fight. Bro, this fly is horrific. He's been just flying around here. Dude, you don't get tired of nothing? Yeah, well, hey, Gout King, that's true too. They may be scared to punch because of the counter. We ever gonna see Nello versus Benavidez? Matty Garcia, probably not. Probably not. Because we know Canelo, if he considers going to 175, it's not against David Benavidez, which I think is fucking strange because David Benavidez is now the WBC champion. Now Canelo could argue, it's like, well, he's not a real champion. They had to strip Bivol. But still, I don't think that's cool. Bakhodir is 300 pounds. That's on him. Bill, that's true. That is on him. Literally. On him. He has to carry that around. The weight. Segan. Kurt, Styles makes boxing. I feel the only person might be able to beat Usyk is Joseph Parker. I guess the Anthony Joshua loss gave Triple D the hype. Dude, I can't stand them. I hate flies, bro. I hate flies. Probably mosquitoes more. But anyway, I guess Anthony Joshua loss gave Triple D hype. Usyk is a cat, difficult to put his back down. That's true. Gout King, love your channel, bro. Appreciate you, brother. Please like, subscribe, and share. And, there's always videos coming daily. All through the day, all through the night. We never close. Open 7 days a week like 7-Eleven. Counter punch. Appreciate you, Gout King. Rob Double. Kurt is a real a-hole for these ridiculous clickbait videos. Okay. Obviously, you guys, this is just for you, Rob Double. Cunt. Let's do this. All right. This is for you, Rob. This is where this came from because this is from Talk Sports Radio, and this is what they had to say about Usyk. All right?
These are physically monumental challenges for Usyk because he is so much smaller naturally. Technically, he's got the game, but these heavyweights are big, dangerous guys. And, was Usyk 6'3"? Yeah. And a 14 stone 4 fighter. That's what he is he? He's a cruiserweight.
Oh, yeah, naturally. But he's bigger now, isn't he?
Artificially bigger to make the big money fights. So, like Dubois in the first fight gave him trouble.
Yeah.
Because he just applied his size on him. Look at the two AJ fights. The first fight, I thought Usyk won it at canter. Mm-hmm. The second fight, all AJ did differently was to just try to apply himself a bit more physically and attack the body a bit more. And you saw that it took more out of Usyk energetically to get the same result. And I see a similar thing happening with Dubois, that if he just goes out there and just if he forgets who he's fighting, has no respect for the man, applies his size and just lets his hands go, and every time Usyk gets clever with him, just keeps going forward and throwing his hands, his size and his natural size advantage and power is going to ask.
I think Daniel's capable of doing that.
So they call this man artificially big. So that's where it comes from. They say he struggles at heavyweight. That's what they said. That ain't what Kurt said talking about a clickbait video. I'm just giving you guys, this is the question I ask my audience because Talk Sports, which is a bigger audience, right? Which is the same audience, honestly. Because the same people that watch Counterpunch Boxing News watch Talk Sports Boxing. You guys know that. I know that for a fact. A lot of you guys do. So it is what it is. So Rob Double, yeah, if he's still here, I don't know. He might have just posted that shit and left. Like, here's my 2 cents. But IBF elimination, Moses versus Torres Jr. Now, that'd be pretty good. I think that fight should happen. I think Moses versus Torres Jr. should happen. Moses can knock out the fake boogeyman. Moses should fight someone like Parker or maybe Wilder, just get some experience. It's all a waste of time and effort. Mbakali is the new Chisora that you beat to lunch to top 10. Is the new Chisora? Damn. Mark Bakali, the new Derek Chisora. I don't know about that. I don't think that that's appropriate. I think Derek Chisora has been in enough situations to show that he's not where Mark Bakali states that he wants to go. I don't think Martin's, because I mean, come on, bro. Derek Chisora has fought pretty much a lot of everybody. Parker, Usyk, Fury, White. You see what I mean? He's fought a lot of people. You know, Pulev. He's fought a lot of people, bro. And Derek Chisora, I mean, he's held his own, you know, the Spilkas, the Wylands, you know. The only person he hasn't, I mean, he hasn't fought Wilder and he fought AJ. But, I mean, if as far as Derek Chisora goes, Derek Chisora has done what Derek Chisora is going to do. Whereas Mark Bakali, to call him the next Chisora, I think is a bit much because Derek Chisora has done and has had a career of fighting pretty much everybody from A to Z. You know? Frank is just capping. He's not going to risk that fight. I mean, he would be dumb if he did. It would be stupid. It would be stupid if he did. Fury didn't commit to the KO either. Fury did sit down on those uppercuts, bro. I don't care what you say. Fury, boom! Fury caught him with some stuff. Revelation TV, Kurt, I want to test Sanchez, Bakali versus Sanchez. That would be a very good fight, and I see that fight happening based on risk. Based on risk. Because, see, here's the thing. How and when did Frank Sanchez get tested? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to ask yourself that. How and when did he get tested since he's been back? You know. How do you judge if he's too small? He rules the division, so obviously the size isn't an issue. Well, I think that's a question you ask them, but I'll say this about Talk Sports. Talk Sports, you know, obviously at that point they come off sounding a bit biased based on, you know, what they think, you know, like why would they think that, you know? How do you judge if he's too small? I already got that one. I don't know what to make of Bakali, which Bakali shows up is a lottery. Well, that's Stephen Strange. That's you know what? That's an honest statement because you don't really know who's going to show up. I mean, Martin Bakali, you know, my question is, why wasn't Martin Bakali in shape when he fought Efe Ajagba? Why was he still 300 pounds when he fought Efe Ajagba? What the hell was he doing to prepare while he was sitting there making those videos when he was supposed to be training for Efe Ajagba? Why was he still on that bullshit? That's what I'm because I get the Joseph Parker fight. He's on the redemption list because I can't understand why he's not in shape. The man was 315 pounds when he fought Joseph Parker, right? When he comes back, he's 299 pounds. So he's 300 pounds. So you go from 315 to 299. What happened? Why wasn't he 290 or 285 or 280? And it makes you think, like, okay, what has he been doing? He obviously wasn't training this whole time. He couldn't have been. 300 pounds is in shape for Bakhodir. No, it ain't. It ain't in shape for Bakhodir. 284 pounds is. 15 pounds heavier for anybody is not in shape, bro. If you come in 15 pounds heavier and we saw you 15 pounds lighter make one hell of a performance, you can't tell me 15 pounds heavier is in shape. That's not in shape for Bakhodir. Because he didn't weigh that whooping the shit out of Jared Anderson. Feel like the British media will never give Usyk the credit. It's like they prefer the heavyweight champion to be bigger man than a smaller man. Well, I think because we live in a society of bigger guys, and I think that became the norm for a while. I think they won't give people the credit. I think that's the only thing that they can hang above Usyk is because he's smaller. 6'3" is not small on no stretch of the imagination. Guys, let me show you something. Right? I am 6'2". I am 6'2". Right? 6'2", maybe 240. All right. I am not. I repeat, I am not a small guy. I am not small at all. Usyk is an inch taller than me. He's 6'3" and about 230. You see what I'm saying? So I don't get that at all. There we go. Ali was 6'3". Yeah. So no, 6'3" is not tall. That's way above average height. The average height is what, 5'10"? You know? Dude, I hit him one time. What a cunt. What's good? Just saw the live too. To answer your question, no, Usyk is not small. He is literally the same height and weight as Ali. So how is he small heavyweight? Jay, I guess it's just Talk Sports trying to fill the agenda that, small is something that is Usyk. And as long as they want people to believe that Usyk is small, I think that's a narrative at this point because it's utterly ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Small for a heavyweight, that's crazy. 6'3", 230 pounds, that is not small for any heavyweight. 6 foot, 5'10", 5'11", 210, 205, Rocky Marciano, Archie Moore, Mike Tyson, those guys are considered small for heavyweights. Chris Bird, small for a heavyweight. Ika Barabucci, not small for a heavyweight. Quan Big Guns, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Quan Big Guns in the building. Usyk is just too cagey for these heavyweights. He understands how to get out of any significant danger the minute it presents itself. Well, I think he knows if he does get hit, he has the ability to recover as well. A lot of people don't understand that. No, Usyk is not small. He just has no power. I don't believe that shit either. You think that's the case? If he had Tyson Fury moving all around the ring like a drunken buzzard coming out of bar, do you think that he doesn't have power? You think he didn't hurt AJ in the 12th round? You see what I'm saying? Like you think Daniel Dubois got caught? Daniel got caught with shot. I just think Daniel just don't like getting hit. You know what I mean? And Daniel didn't even get hit like that. Dubois got hit with shots from Usyk that were here and there. Do you guys remember the combinations that Usyk put on Anthony Joshua? I mean, Anthony Joshua was like bop 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 bop. Because Usyk was da 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 da. He was putting these shots together. He was not shying away from those combinations. You know what I'm saying? But Triple D didn't even get caught with those type of. He got caught with one, maybe two, and then he was time out. Give me 50 feet. No, my only criticism of Usyk is he's not trying to KO guys. You know what? You may have a point. You may have a point with that because I do recall Usyk saying stuff like, well, I don't want to go in there and hurt my opponent. So yeah, his whole objective is to just show how better he is than that guy round after round, accumulate the rounds to get the win. You know what I mean? He ain't in there to punch you with mean intentions or to catch a body in the ring or to hurt you permanently or to knock you out. He's not that dude. So you're right about that. He is not that dude. Pulverized. Usyk is fighting Russian style, which means he hardly ever plants his feet, since that will negate his move ability. Capitano, Colonia. Usyk has power, but he doesn't sit on his punches. His style relies on speed and footwork, Al's elusiveness and volume punching, not on power KO punches. Most of the time, no. You're right. Capitano, most of the time, no. Guys, 100% KG boxer. It's seriously power. Okay. Joel, I think Triple D doesn't mind getting hit as long as he can get his one shot off. With Usyk, he was getting hit and couldn't land the punches he wanted. Okay. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you got to be mentally fragile just to do what Dubois did at that time. Why do you think Dubois quit? That's a good question. I think Dubois didn't like to get hit. I think he didn't like to get hit. I think mentally he folded. I think he got tired of getting outboxed. I think he got tired of being hit and couldn't see the punches coming. And I think mentally he collapsed. You know what I'm saying? And I think that jab was just a representation. Like, you know what? Let me save myself because I didn't like what just happened. So I'm going to take my time to get up. I don't think he intended to stay down because if you notice, when he got to 9, he did jump up. Kind of like Charles Martin in the AJ fight, if you guys can remember that. But it was mostly shock. He was trying to figure, okay, am I going to get up now? But that punch surprised him to the point, I have to do something, and I know nothing else to do but get my ass on my knees. I'm a UFC trainer, bro. Jiu-jitsu size is nothing. Trust me. Triple D against Hrgovic was getting hit for fun, but he knew he could be able to land his punches. Obviously so. I mean, because, the way Hrgovic was just throwing these shots. Bow, 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 bow. Just 1-2s. That's the only thing he was throwing. 1-2. And the crazy thing about it, I'm like, okay, Dubois eating these shots. He's eating them. He's getting hit in the jaw. He's getting hit in the cheek. He's getting hit upside the head in the temple area. So he's getting hit on all sides of the face, the head, upstairs. He was getting hit on all corners with that right. And it's like, okay, you were eating it. And I thought, but pretty soon, Danny Dubois is going to fold. I was thinking that, like, it ain't looking good for Dubois. You got somebody, I think, taller. I think Hrgovic's taller than Dubois. Hrgovic is like AJ's height. What, 6'5", right? landing right hands at will, constantly, right? But he didn't. So it was surprising to see Daniel take the shots. You know? So hopefully a new man has emerged. You know? Usyk is happy outclassing people. Stephen Strange. Okay, that makes sense. That's why I hope Triple D will smash Usyk, because I know Triple D will try to KO him. Well, I mean, hopefully this time this is what we get. Hopefully that little push, you know, is the indication that, hey, I want to hurt you. I want to smash you. I want to crush you. I'm going to knock you out. I'm not going to let you dance around me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a dragonfly type shit. I'm going to destroy you like I would this damn fly if I could find them. That's why, okay, let's see. Don, no lies. I've seen big guys go down very quick. I'm going to throw a few on Triple D, Double D, as I love to bet on the underdog, but I just cannot see Usyk not retiring undefeated. Ask Skip. Triple D quits if he can't have any success. It will happen again. Well, we'll see. I mean, you know what just hit me? Just hit me right now. Why isn't Bivol a heavyweight? Why isn't Beterbiev, more importantly, not a heavyweight? I would love to see Beterbiev as a heavyweight. I don't know. It's just, he's just, like, those guys are in the wrong division. They would be stars. Imagine Bivol at heavyweight. He would be a star, especially if he could do what he did at light heavy. He would be a star. Beterbiev, if he could bust you up, break you down, beat you up, you know, all that, he would be a star. Dubois quit because he was discouraged, because he knew he can't win. He wasn't hurt. He just didn't want to carry on the fight knowing the ref is there to protect Usyk. I don't know. You know what I didn't see, though? This is what I didn't see. I didn't see Don Charles come up with an uproar. I didn't see him really rage when that happened. That's my only problem. You know, I didn't see him really, you know, get pissed off. You know, I didn't really see that. This will be Usyk's best fight. Fighting lightning fast and hard to catch. Expect Triple D to quit. Damn. Hrgovic thinks he is a killer with power, and Triple D showed he ain't. Good point. Good point. I think Triple D quits again against Usyk or gets stopped. Triple D has a chance. He's gained confidence. But for me, he hasn't really improved. Styles make fights. Joel, I haven't seen him improve against someone like Usyk, and Joseph Parker would have at least showed us how he could deal with someone that has the ability to move and has better footwork. He didn't show us that. You know? This time Usyk seems to be real irritated, but any normal person will be by Don Charles rants. Andrew 23, member in the building. Counterpunch to you. Purple Gaming. Usyk's conditioning is what makes him so hard to beat. Hrgovic has an unusual style. Same old 1-2s. Not sure why Danny Dubois couldn't see them coming. I don't know. I have no idea. What's up with all these messages from, I don't know where they're from. Kurt, what's your prediction for Usyk versus Triple D? I haven't given one yet. Don Charles talks like he's reading from a scroll. Yeah, he does talk biblically, don't he? You must see what Daniel Dubois is going to do to Usyk. Usyk will crumble because he is a fraud. He's a fraud because he manipulates the referee's perception that what is going on. Dang. Yeah, Don Charles, man, he talks a lot, bro. Hey, Counterpunch, this is Usyk's fan from France. Usyk will win. Okay. Jean Charles in the building. Funny, it kind of sounds like Don Charles, don't it? Belongs on WWE. Yeah. You're a fraud. You are, which god do you serve? Like, okay there, Joffrey Joffer. Okay. That impression for Don Charles is funny. Nearly dropped my weights in the gym. My son looks. Aaron Arme. Let's go, champ. I did lose all respect for Don Charles. Don is just trying to rev everybody up. That's all. He's trying to rev everybody up. I like a Jogba's new style hype man. Who new hype man? Cool. Why is Zerto ducking Jayapataya? Well, I think because there's no other fight to be made. Maybe that's not enough money. I think Jayapataya would knock him out in a fierce fight. I think Zerto has power, but Zerto is rangy. He's tall. He's probably my height or taller. Arthur old for heavyweight. Yeah, he's just old. I feel bad for him. He's 1-1. Crack a cold one open, champ. How tall are you? 6'2". I'm stepping into the ring for the first time at 41. Wish me luck. CJ Rich in the building. Man, I hope somebody gets some footage, man. And, if you get knocked out, don't show the footage. But if you end up doing and having a good job, bro, I will post it, if you want me to, or you just send it to me and let me know what you want me to do with it. But, yeah, good luck with that, man. He says, shit, I'm 5'7". CJ Rich, what weight class are you? Do you think Don Charles has mentally helped Triple D, or was the AJ fight win that made him think, I can do this? No, I don't think it was Don Charles at all. I think, this is what you need to understand. Don Charles was there when he got whooped by Usyk anyway. So I don't think it's Don Charles. 165 amateur. Cool. Super middleweight. All right, cool. Yeah, man, good luck, bro. Break a face, not your own. Do you work out? Yeah, I work out. Yeah, I work out. Kind of got to. Yeah, but yeah, man. CJ Rich. Yeah, man. Good luck, bro. Good luck to you, man. Good luck. Man, what's my setup? It depends who I'm fighting. Jean Charles, just as you said it, styles make fights, but during their last, Dubois game plan was based on throwing many low blows because Usyk's team countered up to 20 of them. Dubois was beautifully beaten. You go to the gym? Yeah, I go to the gym. I go to the gym every other day. So I went yesterday. I ain't going today. I'll go tomorrow. All right. So, things like that. He said, dude, do you even lift? Do you even lift, dude? LA Fitness. They have one here in town. I don't go to that though. I go to Anytime right now. I used to go to Plex back home, which was the shit. I used to love Plex. I miss Plex. It's just for one, they stopped becoming 24 hours, which normally I like doing cardio at night, especially in the summer times where it gets hot. So you want to walk or run at night, get the cardio at night. Where if the gym was open, you could do it at the gym. But now you got to find yourself doing it outside somewhere, right? But Plex back home was a gym that used to be 24 hours. So you can go in there, get it in, hit those weights, bro. Come out of there, shower. I could do some videos there, run it. Because a lot of the videos I did at my gym, now since COVID, they shut off the 24 hours. And it is what it is. Mama Lou counterpunch to you. Renee Padilla in the building. Crawford and Canelo are the same size, so I don't think size will play a factor in that fight. What do you think, Kurt? I think it shouldn't be. I hope it doesn't. Because, see, if there's no size factor, we can just see who's better. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's size, that will always be a factor in a fight. Like, well, he's much bigger, so when and if he hits him and hurts him, the chances of Canelo hurting Terrence Crawford would be worse because he's so much bigger. There's weight classes for a reason. Canelo will knock him out. Yeah, like he knocked out Jermell Charlo. I like Eubank versus Ben. Well, I think a lot of that was, fought off of legacy, spirit, and a lot of other stuff. So that was just an extraordinary fight. Who do you think Jake Paul will challenge Usyk after 10 years? Nah. Usyk won't fight him in 10 years. Dubois stands a very good chance early doors. After that, he'll remember who he's in with and run out of ideas. Dubois is fit, but he'll mentally drain him past halfway just with the jab and movement. How much were leg presses? Man, you know what? I try not to do more than 200 because, I'm in the film industry. I do stunts and shit. I don't want to, doing too much of that on your joints. It's not good. Daryl Gout. Yeah, I know, right? As much steak as I eat, bro. And shrimp. Usyk versus Porter. Usyk winner, Olympic gold. It's crazy transformation. Yeah, Usyk versus Porter. Yeah, Porter got him. But Porter used to be a lot bigger too, though. You have to keep that in mind. Porter was bigger because he played football. Martin Ruiz Bakhodir loses 50 pounds and gets in shape with some sparring. Who would he need to win against to get off the redemption list? Efe Ajagba. He has to beat Efe Ajagba to come off the redemption list. And then if he beats Efe Ajagba, he'll be back where he was. You know what I'm saying? I could make it harder on him and say he has to beat Joseph Parker, but I don't think he has to do that because Joseph Parker didn't put him on the redemption list. You see what I'm saying? Efe Ajagba did. The guy that he's supposed to run right over, he didn't. Efe Ajagba was bow, 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 putting them together, bro. The only time that he gave Mark Bakhodir a chance is when he went on the ropes thinking he was Ali for real. You're not a Ali for real. This ain't the rope-a-dope. That ain't George Foreman and you ain't a Muhammad Ali. Stop. Kurt, do you think T.O. is better than Ryan, Haney, and Tank, resume skills-wise? I think Teofimo Lopez is better than Ryan Garcia. I think he's more exciting than Devin Haney. I think when you're talking about Devin Haney as being better than, I think you also have to, that also has to go hand in hand with how Devin chooses to fight. The shit that we saw Devin do, I wouldn't recommend anybody to do. Because can you win and still gain fans and keep your respect fighting like that? I'm just keeping it real. Can you do that? Can you keep that? Can you keep your integrity? Can you keep your respect? You know what I'm saying? Can you still keep your stripes? Because look. Devin Haney has fought. Who has he fought? Ryan Garcia, Vasil Lomachenko, George Kambosos. He's fought a lot of people. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, because here's the thing. Like, nobody wants to. It's just like Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, I look at Shakur and I understand he's injured. He has bad hands. So he needs to find out. He's claiming, oh, my hands are better. We'll see. Is Bivol versus Better BF 3 happening? I don't know. He fought Prograis. Yeah, I mean, he looked huge against Prograis. Parker will be the next undisputed champ. Kurt, do you see Efe Ajagba dangerous now? I think he stops Usyk or even Caballero with a jab. I don't think so. I think he's dangerous. I always thought he was dangerous. Revelation TV, I always thought he was dangerous. That's not the point. The point is, ask yourself this question. You put this Efe Ajagba up against the guy that beat him and the only guy that beat him, Frank Sanchez. What type of outcome would we receive? That's the question you ask yourself. Andrew 23. Martin Ruiz Bakali should definitely fight Andy Ruiz. Battle of the Fat Men. Although it would be a good fight. It would. Because you expect Andy to eat a lot of shots. That would be a great fight, honestly. That would be a fantastic fight. Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz Bakali. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? That would be a good fight. I think ultimately, if Andy can't hurt, because I mean, Andy has explosive power, bro. Remember that. Andy might have short arms. He may be fat. He may, whatever you want to say about Andy. If Andy catches your ass off the fly with a catch and shoot, or with a slip, tuck, and an attack, a catch and counter, bro, he can hurt you with his explosiveness because he's fast and he throws good combinations. And who's knew? Maybe him breaking his right arm or hand, maybe that helped Jarrell because he was catching Jarrell with shots. So hey, who knows? I would like to see it. Let's let it happen. Let's make it happen. Ajagba was doing the hope a dope versus Bacall. The hope a dope, huh? Skill of 50, you crazy. I don't think Ajagba beats any of the top 5, but I am very impressed with his improvement. I think Efe Ajagba does what Efe Ajagba does. I think he's improved. I think he can, he's a better boxer now. I think he can do some stuff at heavyweight. It depends on who he fights. Let's put him in there with I would love to see Efe Ajagba against Fabio Wardley. That would be a good fight. Because Fabio can, Fabio's kind of elusive. Fabio's elusive, you know what I mean? And he knows how to move. And I think that would be a good style or a challenge for someone like Efe Ajagba because, Efe's, jab, 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 right hand kind of fighter. So it is what it is. I worry that Crawford is quiet at the moment. Nah, I just joke sometimes. Too old to troll. You worked with my Uncle Nick Gurr back in the day. Who's Nick Gurr? This fucking jerk. Devin and Shakur got decision fighting like Skull. Fabio more sparring versus Usyk. Rolly was quiet too. Yeah, he was quiet, and he went in there and beat the hell out of beat up his buddy. Because Ryan is his buddy, though. Don't get it twisted. That's his buddy. Baited. Yeah, I know, right? I think Crawford wins by using the ring. Parker versus Caballero. These two are the only two that would do anything to Usyk. Styles make fights. It's almost unfair for them to fight each other. I think so. I think what one of them should get the opportunity to fight Usyk, and then the other one, if they become victorious, I think the other one should fight each other. I'm sick. Like, you know what fights I want to see? I want to see Bakhodir versus Dubois. I want to see Parker versus Dubois. Parker versus Usyk. So Daniel versus Bakhodir. Parker versus Usyk. Beterbiev versus Benavidez at light heavyweight. I would rather see that. Or Beterbiev versus Canelo at light heavyweight. That would be a good fight. Jaya Pataya versus Moses Atoma. You know, things like that. Bakhodir versus Jarrell Miller. I think Jarrell Miller would eat him up. I think he would chop Jarrell Miller up. I think Bakhodir would. And Jarrell Miller doesn't even want that. You know what he said? No, that's my brother. He said the same thing about Michael Hunter because he knows Michael Hunter would box him all night long because he knows he sparred him. No one ever has anything bad to say about Michael Hunter. Let me tell you guys something about Michael Bounty Hunter. He may be underrated. He may be inactive. But when has anybody said anything about Michael Hunter that consists of they whooped his ass? Don't worry, I'll wait. Let me say that again. Let me ask that question again. Who has ever said, hey, man, I whooped Michael Hunter's ass? No one. The only person that can say that is the only person that beat him. And that's who? Usyk. And he don't talk shit like that. I'm talking about who has said, I have beaten, sparred, outboxed, whooped Michael Hunter in sparring or wherever. Nobody has said that. It seems AJ's going to be taking scraps off a table, pretty much. And I think he knows that. I think he knows he's popular. And because he's popular, he's going to take somebody else's opportunity. And I think that's why he said that about Parker, because he's going to take that Parker opportunity. Why the F Top Rank can't get Michael Hunter? Michael, I don't know. I don't know, bro. You look about boxing. Most boxing, it happens. People get beat, and that's why they don't get the opportunity, because that one fight they needed to win, they didn't. Michael Hunter ain't like that. I wish Michael Hunter would get another high-profile fight. Me too. Huey Fury's ugly ass ducked him for like a year. That was deplorable what they did to him. It was absolutely terrible. AJ and Wilder is a must now, surely. No, it's not. No, it's not. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. I think AJ, people are frantic for AJ to get some type of opportunity to either get revenge on his last loss or just try to get another title shot. That's what they do. Pulverize watching my weight. Hunter was robbed in the amateurs versus Fury. Hunter whooped him. It used to be on YouTube, but they deleted it. I remember you said that before. Kurt, you got Crawford or Canelo? I can't predict that one. I'm going for Crawford. I'm going for Crawford. I'm not going for Canelo on that. I'm going for Crawford. I think he's the smaller guy that maybe Canelo shouldn't have picked. I think he fucked up by getting fighting Crawford. Because I think Crawford wouldn't have chose Canelo if he didn't feel that he could whoop him or he didn't have a game plan for him. That's just like why Usyk picked Tyson. Despite everybody thought, oh no, man, Tyson's way too big for Usyk. He's gonna beat Usyk up. He's gonna batter Usyk. He's gonna slap him around. He's gonna bully him. He's gonna knock him around. He's gonna stop him. That's what's gonna happen to Oleksandr Usyk in the Tyson Fury fight. Tyson Fury is just way too big for him. He's too tall. He's too big. His reach is too long. He doesn't stand a chance. People said that shit. Marlon Thornell, counterpunch to you. Greg Nicholas, Usyk versus Hunter. Well, I mean, you mean part 2 because they already fought before. But no, that's what happened. I think the same thing's going to happen when Crawford comes in and shows Canelo when he starts chopping with angles and hooks. See, here's the thing. Canelo comes in like this. This is Canelo. He comes in, he gets closer. He comes in, he gets closer. And then he'll like, fuck. With Crawford will see that. Crawford will, he might start angling down on Canelo. 12/9, it's my birthday. Okay, yeah, you guys do it different, don't you? See, you guys say 12/9, we say 9/12. I say 12/9, you mean December? I get what you're saying, Mama Lou. Counterpunch to you. Happy birthday for that day. So remind me to remind everyone that it is your birthday the day that it pops off. What do you think about the controversial punch in Usyk Dubois fight? I think it was up to the referee. Let's not pretend that Canelo didn't look horrible on purpose to sell the Bud fight. I don't believe that. He didn't look. I think Canelo didn't engage because Canelo didn't need to. He was going to win a fight, and you can't win a fight, and you can't beat anyone like Canelo fighting the way Skull did. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I disagree. Mao, how many times did Dirty Dubois hit low? Ball breaker. To me, Tyson had Usyk in the first, right where he wanted him, and let him off the cam in a bad shape for the second. Crawford or Canelo, who wins? Kurt, if Crawford wins and gets the belts, what weight will he continue to fight in? I think Crawford should retire. Do you think Anderson is done now? Is it a shame he showed incredible heart against Bakhodir? I don't think he's done. I think he needs, he now needs to show that he's about whatever he's about. Honestly. But no, I do agree with you guys. I disagree with Talk Sports. Whoever that host was, Usyk does not struggle at heavyweight, although I think he used to appear that he did. The Derek Chisora fight, it looked like he struggled a bit. The Chaz Witherspoon, I didn't like how he got hit with the counter right hand against Chaz, honestly. But other than that, from AJ on fourth, I think he belongs in the weight class, definitely. So it is what it is. So I got a few more before I jump off and hear what we got. Hopefully this trilogy will be a good fight. I mean, were we talking about Tyson Fury versus Usyk, or are we talking about Beterbiev versus Bivol? Bakhodir is done like a roasted Congolese pig. Damn. Not a roasted Congolese pig. Say it ain't so. Gout King. Still think we haven't had a super heavyweight since Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe, or Holyfield. I mean, this era is what this era produces. Kurt, don't mind my username. My daughter has changed it. Okay. All right. Talk Sports are biased. They think too highly of British fighters. Revelation TV. Bakhodir ain't done. Just a bad day at the office. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to hear. Simon for the Talk Sports is full of shit. All right. What else do we have? You the man, Kurt. Great chat. Gout King. Appreciate you, brother. You guys, make sure you update your mobile notifications. Okay, that's important. So go on your phones, go to my page, go to the channel, and hit the bell icon. Okay, so you can get notifications for the new videos. Because I think if you done it on your computer and you didn't do it on your phone, it won't come through your phone. That's why a lot of times you don't get the notifications for the videos that I drop, the new and improved, fresh ones that show new news concerning Counterpunch boxing news. But anyway, you guys be good, be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow at the same time at 11 a.m. I think this slot is appropriate. What do you think? Do you think 11 a.m. is an appropriate slot? Matter of fact, let's start the poll. All right. Cool. Boom. It's 11:16 for me. So, yep. All right. So just dropping. So seeing if you guys like this time slot, because because I want to be consistent with the time, and I think 11 o'clock is good. I don't know what you guys think. So tuition should fly you out to cover the fights. Who is tuition? Who is going to win the Hergovic versus Sanchez purse bid? I don't know. That looks like it's in 2 days. I think on the 15th. Yeah. Well, 11 o'clock. I started at 11. So I started at 11 yesterday. So, all right. So we got 92%. No different time. Okay. So, if you guys do want a different time, let me know what time. But right now, 93% is good. With 15 votes, it's a great time here. Okay. Do you like Effie Ajagba's manager? He's hilarious. I haven't heard his manager, to be fair. I want everybody to vote to give me an idea of if this is a good time, because I see a lot. The views are increasing, so that's a good thing. And if you got a time slot at 11, I can set that so the next topic we can talk about tomorrow, because I want to do a live stream every day. Manny looks insane in his recent training footage. Like, I don't know how he can still throw his hands that fast at 45. It's called fast twitch muscle. So, yeah, he can still throw punches. Look at Nigel Benn. Nigel Benn's a lot older than Manning. He's still, you know what I mean? Muscle memory's a mother sucker, people. You got to close out chat and we reopen to get the poll. All right. Matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to make it on my community so you guys can go there and vote there, because I'm trying to find a good time to come live every day. I like the late night chats, but that's just me. Rod, it's all good. I do those sporadically. You know what I'm saying? Just to see who pops up on there, just to see how it goes. Antonio, some of their interviews of him on IFL, he's good mouthpiece for fighters who don't talk much. It's a great time here. Okay, Manny might actually beat Barrios. This is going to be crazy. I remember B-Hop defending the title at 49. Yeah, I remember that. Until Joe Smith knocked his ass out of the ring. Don't forget that, though. But no, Bondard Hopkins is the oldest recorded heavyweight champion ever. So that's his thing. Do you have a favorite brand for boxing gear? I like Reyes gloves, bro. I like the puncher's glove. Winning is good. The Japanese winning is a good brand. Everybody wants AJ versus Fury and AJ versus Wilder still. I say let's have it. I still think it'll be a good fight. I think it should happen in Madison Square Garden. I think AJ should come back to the States and fight Deontay Wilder in there or Wembley. So either Wembley or Madison Square Garden. I don't want to see it in any other place. Any other place. Boxing is good when it isn't rigged. That's true. So, but yeah, guys, I will make that poll over. I'm about to jump off of here. But 11 a.m. tomorrow, it seems, we will see. I will look at the poll to see what you guys vote. But I will see you tomorrow live for another discussion concerning boxing. Guys, be blessed. Have a great Tuesday. And everyone has been counterpunched. Peace.